Welcome everybody to Eye the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card reading. Today's pick a card reading, we're going into the mystical, the fantastical and the magical, which is a fun topic and fun place to go. And we're looking for some companions from the Fae, from the fairy folk, to help you discover what new magic and ability and promise is arising in you. So we're going to sort of start with a group of Fae companions and the energy and the topics that they're focusing on, one of which is shown here as part of the choice, and there are three others. I don't know what they are at this point, but we'll find out together. And that'll kind of set the scene, set the banquet, so to speak, for what you're exploring. Then we're going to use tarot to have a look at what messages they're bringing, what magic you can discover, and what can you achieve and manifest out of that. And then we'll look at almost the pathway to do it on the sort of fantastical realm, what stars guide you, and then your magic as it manifests at the end. So this is an exploration of you and what is emerging in you, with the fairy folk as your guides, companions, advisors, and so forth. So I'll put down the numbers to help the choice for those that like the numbers, who choose by that. Of course, you can go to more than one reading. There may be more than one sort of avenue of practical and sort of fantastical magic that the Fae want to talk to you about, and there may be more than one group of Fae that want to talk to you. So you do you. But to help possibly with the choice, because this is in a sense one of the companion energies around this. For pile number one, we have the littlest fairy, and this very beautiful, sweet fairy is wanting us to have a look at what beauty and value there are in small things, in the sort of minute or the very nuanced aspects of life. For pile number two, we have mother and daughter. So this could be a fairy companion that has some form of nurturing role with you, or it may be one that wants to guide you to have a look at how you nurture yourself, how you nurture others, how you were nurtured in some way, and how that's important for your magic. And for pile number three, we have the gatekeeper, very mysterious companion to start your group, the one that helps with portals, new beginnings, time shifts, dimensional slips, all of that sort of thing. So very interesting energy, that companion with you in finding your magic. So that may help you choose. Something else might do that. If you need to pause and contemplate, by all means do that. But when you know what reading or readings you want to go to, the timestamps as always are in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile one to your reading and to your group of Fae energies or Fae companions. And it's very interesting because I actually think this is a group that almost has a sequential sort of helping and guiding role. I think it starts with almost a getting over something, letting go of something, and appreciating the sort of finer points of what came through so that you can move towards something else, and you have the getting of wisdom. But then there's something about understanding how that is going to help bring in and understand your future. Because we start, as I said in the introduction, with the littlest fairy, which is talking about appreciating the beauty and value of the exquisite and small. And it's connected with solace. So I feel as though this is actually the one companion. I feel like this is the same fairy. It's a small, beautiful, delicate fairy that says that there is a capacity to return to the core of you, because this talks about returning to nature when something hasn't worked out, but there is something in it that is of great value. So I feel that if you've come to the right reading, the Fae here want to recognize and help you have solace for something that didn't maybe manifest in the way that you wanted, like it was a magic sort of thing that you were trying to do that didn't seem to really take, or where external factors were not helping. But there is a kind of a sense of getting back to first principles and nature that this particular Fae energy wants to bring you to, so that you understand there is actually something very beautiful and very precious in what occurred. There's a learning. Because then these very ancient and powerful energies come forward once you've kind of understood that and had that aha moment. We have the ancient, elder, experienced lessons. There is a sense of a very ancient Fae energy that wants you to have had that aha moment so that you start to understand who you are. And it's very interesting. We've got an owl here, which is that kind of very seeing in all directions, understanding what's going on, very acute sight, even when there's potentially darkness. And the Queen of Darkwood Elves is about premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery. I think that the magical power that is arising in you is a form of prophecy, clairvoyance, clear seeing, maybe a number of the clear senses. But there is something, when you go back and look at, and this is what the Fae is saying, what occurred that you sort of do need to kind of grieve and let go of, you'll realize within that you kind of knew. There's something about starting to understand the future by the past. And when high magicians talk about prophets, they talk about that the prophet not only sees the future, but in many senses, even more importantly, understands the past. So your magic here is about understanding what is coming, bringing a great wisdom to it. And it's almost in examining right down to the minute detail something that didn't work, and seeing the value of that is so much more than what it was that you were striving for. Helps you understand how prophetic you actually are, helps you understand the wisdom that you can draw from that, and draws these very powerful energies to you to start to predict better, prophesy better, so that if you are going after something similar to what you went after before, your magic is going to be so much more powerful. You're going to understand all the nuances of this. What does history tell you? What have you learned about the people involved? Whatever it might be that was a problem before becomes grist to your mill in prophesying and bringing in the future that you want to bring in. So let's ask Tarot for a little bit more information. So I'm going to use the Cute and Creepy Tarot, and we're going to use its sister oracle a little bit later in the reading as well. So we really want everything in this to be kind of fantastical, but there's something in this view that's very material and very much of the real world, but it's understanding, it's starting to see your prophetic ability. And look, I would say to you, and I think it's interesting we have the Solace here and we have the littlest fairy to make you really value this. It's not the easiest thing on earth to be prophetic. And I think I've mentioned this in other readings when this sort of energy comes up. Often people don't see it, can't appreciate it, can't hear what you have to say. So this is also, I think, what the Fae want you to know. There's a wisdom of the ages in this and in you. And sometimes the disappointment might be that people weren't ready to hear something or do something, but you can learn. There's still something of great value in what didn't work. So let's ask a little bit more about what messages this sort of very powerful group, because one goes almost to the subatomic level of like, what is the constitution and the nature of the universe, what is of true value, and then this is more, how does that manifest in the world? So what is the message that they are bringing you when you visit the fairy realm? Pile 1. 5 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Swords reversed, 2 of Wands reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed. So I think this is just an extrapolation of what I've been saying, really. This says there has been a defeat. Something didn't work. But there is a point to that, and there is a point to actually examining and going within the pain as an intellectual exercise as much as anything. This feels very scientific. This feels almost like the littlest fairy here is saying to you, almost put the whole thing under a microscope, really look at it in detail, because there was something in this which you either were relying on some form of support materially that didn't happen, or there was something about you weren't dealing with your equals. You maybe were underestimating yourself potentially. But if you understand that it's something to do with finding a balance in sort of generosity and also taking, like the give and take. There was a give and take issue associated with this, and it was always going to fail at this point because it had something to do with the distribution of resources in some way. But examining that and understanding that allows you to work out what you do differently next time. Because it sort of looks to me as though the Fae is saying you went forward and you have a sense of your prophetic ability. You kind of know whatever the core thing here is something that is of value and could work, but you went ahead without really making the decisions about the design of it and how you would manifest it. As a result, you were too dependent on other people or the approval of others or something like that. But there's something in understanding that is going to allow you then to manifest what you want. So that's the thing to think about. Where did you rush ahead without planning? Because you have prophetic ability, you can plan very, very well. And where did you either underestimate or overestimate the support of other people and other resources? If you understand that, then you're ready to kind of like come back fighting. So let's see what magic, therefore, and we know some of this is about your prophecy, but what magic can this experience and this counsel from this group of the Fae bring to you now? King of Pentacles reversed, the Tower reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, the Four of Swords. Okay, It's very prophetic. It's very going within. This is why we've got the nature sort of energy here as well too, like connecting with nature into your true nature. You can turn around bad fortune by understanding it and by being calm in the storm. There is something very material around this, whether this is around a career or whether it's, whether you can find a long-standing committed relationship, whatever this issue is that didn't really work out and it had to do with the kind of balance of give and take and not being right. The magic that you're going to understand by going within and listening to your inner knowing is that even what appears to be misfortune can be gradually turned around, and that which was not ready to manifest won't manifest, but that's okay. There's something that you can build from this. The tower has not fallen completely. There is still something here, and you can turn that around. But you have to recognize why that happened. What was materially wrong in the foundation? That's this examination, because then you can apply that in this sort of prophetic meditative state to turn the wheel around. So you really can turn your fortunes in another direction. This is your magic, by understanding things and, as I said, applying the past to the future, understanding the future in the context of the past. But you do have to understand the past properly to do that. So let's see what you can achieve and manifest if you do reconsider what happened so that you can turn the fortunes gradually, bit by bit, towards achieving what you want. What do the Fae feel that you can achieve? High Priestess, yeah, prophetic spiritual power, definitely. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Well, that's pretty dang good, I have to say. So you definitely can have this prophetic spiritual ability. You're going to understand you always had it, but it was sort of like a little bit submerged under kind of more sort of enthusiasms and the practical side of things. You're going to have this prophetic ability, definitely. You're going to feel much more emotionally connected to what you want, and therefore you can make it work. Therefore you can be committed to this and make it work. So this does turn it all around, turns it all around. So examining with an almost scientific approach what didn't work and what wasn't ready is the thing that gives you the aha moment and the emotional connection to bring in what you do want. So I do think for most of you, something that didn't work, there's a version of it that is going to work. But you had to almost fail to understand how to build something that was sustainable, something that was going to last. And you had to kind of fail to start to understand that you did sort of know, but you ignored it. So like you're not going to ignore that side of things going forward. So the Fae are saying, yeah, there is something of great value in what didn't work because there's a version of it that is going to work. I think they're saying that very, very clearly. So let's have a look at the journey that you go through. So there's a number of decks that I want to use for that, for particular purposes. So the first thing is when you go into the realm of the Fae, when you're connecting with this, you're kind of going through a portal. So I want to see for you to manifest this, to be able to take their counsel, what portal, either internal or external, do you take? Enter, just going in. Just going in. And that looks to me like entering the world of the Fae. This is exactly what you need to do. I feel like it's also like entering into the tree, into who you are, into your life pattern. It's almost saying because of your spiritual and psychic ability, you can't go through the wrong door. You'll go through the right door. You just have to be prepared to enter. It's all about just being prepared to do it. So what pathway will open up for you? A pathway of inner conflict. So this is something you have to face. This is the examination. I think it was a conflict between give and take. It was a conflict of like who was doing what in whatever this situation was, whether it's a relationship, a work project, whatever it might be. But this is something you have to enter into looking at that. This is the examination because you did know, you do have this ability. And when you actually go into the conflict and you recognize almost what you ignored, what didn't you pay attention to because you didn't want to see it? Once you see that, you understand the prophecy ability, but you have to enter into the inner conflict to get through it. What is the energy around your journey? Seek. Yeah, look at it as you're seeking something. Look at it scientifically because it is, you are going to have to face something in this about Either what you didn't want to see but you knew, or belief structures that you had that have been sorely tested by this. So you need to go in with an exploratory viewpoint, and you need to be prepared to see what you brought to the table as well as what other people brought to the table. So then what surprises? We want 2 surprises that will come by going through examining this under the guidance of the Fae. The first surprise is gratitude. Be grateful for what you received today. You don't expect, if you look within this, it's going to be pleasant, but you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You're going to realize what value there is. So you're going to be more grateful for this than you would expect, and more grateful for the fact that the first thing didn't work, because you know you can build something more. And pivot. Circumstances have changed. Make changes to meet the new normal. So you're going to work out what it is that you need to do differently. And this is why it's saying with the Tower reverse, it's not really that whatever this is has failed. It's just that you have to kind of be flexible and understand it a bit more and pivot. Be ready to be flexible and move. But you don't expect this at the moment, because at the moment you kind of need the solace. But the Fae is saying the solace is actually examining it, facing it full on. Then you're going to realise how close you actually are for what you want to get. Let's see what stars guide you as well, pile 1. Uranus. So yeah, change, revolution. There's something to change. And there's inspiration. When you go within and you see almost the subatomic workings of this, you're going to get inspiration. Also, Uranus is connected to the tarot card of the Fool. So a new beginning. It's a new start, a fresh start. But I think it is going to get something very similar to what you were going or trying to achieve before. We have sextile. This is going to be easier than you think, and you're going to be grateful for it. But you expect it to be difficult to look at it. But you're going to find you're much more resilient than you think. And the 7th house, if this is around relationships, it could completely shift a relationship and pivot. Could make you choose someone else. You know, when there was like 2 options and you were thinking one was the one that didn't work out, but there was actually someone where there was a more balanced and true generosity of spirit. Could be anything. Could be companionship and connection with others come as a result of you bringing this in. Just going to see what planets we have for the sextile, just to see what energies are particularly helping you in this examination. Mars, so action, energy, really just having the courage to do it. That's going to be the biggest thing about this. And Neptune, and going within to the numinous. The numinous is the place that you're going to find this. And to reconnect and have the courage of your dreams again. You're going to find that you feel inspired to do that even more, pile 1. So to finish up, I just want to get you a practical magic card. Like what now can you use, having had the counsel of the Fae? Release your pain, Foxgate. It's very much a sense of you in the forest here. I think for some of you, like if you could kind of like commune in with nature by being in a forest or being around trees, there's something about trees. I also think with foxes, there's a cleverness to this. Once you do it, you're going to realize there's a clever and strategic way of doing things. So I see foxes as very strategic spirit animals. But releasing your pain, that's really what the Fae want you to do, and they want you to understand what's of value there so that you can go towards what you need. But while you're avoiding entering the conflict and really looking at it, you're holding on to the pain. When you let go of that and you really examine it, it sort of dissolves like aspirin in water. So I think it's a very, very positive message for you about reclamation of something that's of great value and that you maybe thought you couldn't have or you'd lost. All you need to do is use your own analytical ability and your prophetic ability, and the Fae pretty much say that the rest will look after itself. So I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope that resonated for you. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 2, to your reading. So you came to the reading with Mother and Daughter as one of the Fae energies or Fae guides for you. And as I said, this could be a very nurturing energy around you. I think it is actually. But I think it's about how to nurture and get you ready to find your way and find your soul family and your soul kin. I feel like there's sort of something about reclamation of that beyond whatever your current family is. And that is not necessarily to say to reject your current family. It may be to really confirm that they are your soul family, but it might also be broadening that horizon, because there's actually a really strong sort of starseed feeling about this. which is sort of interesting. I didn't necessarily expect that in a Fae reading, but I guess it could kind of make sense that the Fae could also be connected to intergalactic sort of species or races or that kind of energy, or have come from distant stars. That could make sense. But the reason I say it is we've got stardust, premonition, galactic communication, beginnings and endings. I feel like this is a Fae energy that is kind of extraterrestrial almost around this, or connecting you to maybe your soul or star family. And it may in fact be that this is the one energy, that this is as I say, maybe a maternal type of spirit guide energy that is Fae and also has that connection to maybe sort of starseed or something like that, interdimensional energies anyway. Like, I think this is saying you're either a starseed or there's something very much about the Fae about you, to be honest. Because we also have soulkin. So there's a group around you, I think, from the Fae that are very connected to you on a family level. And they're there, I think, because this is your energy and this is solitary. And it's saying that they want you to focus on yourself. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time nurturing and looking after others, and they now want you to do that, and they want to bring that energy to you and connect you to your soul family, because you felt out of sorts, you felt different, you felt alone, but they're connecting to show that you aren't, but that you can use the time that feels like it's alone in the material world to connect to the kind of interdimensional family energy there. So for many of you may be sort of someone who's felt very alone, and this is about connecting with the magic for you is connecting with your soul family and understanding that your origins are maybe not on this planet. It's just very interesting. So we're going to use the tarot, and we're going to ask firstly a little bit more about the messages that these Fae companions want to bring you, which is I think your soul tribe and a very maternal, protective, probably intergalactic kind of Fae energy. We're then going to ask what magic you can develop with their guidance, and then what you can manifest. So firstly, a little bit about what they want to say to you at the moment. Ace of Cups, Death, Page of Pentacles, Four of Swords reversed, Ace of Pentacles reversed. Okay. There's a very specific thing I'm going to say that may fit with certain people. It's only going to be certain people. But given that we have the mother and daughter, we have the Page of Pentacles upright here. For some, there's a message about a child, either one that's coming in or a very important child in your life. They may be feeling alone, and this may be sort of like connecting that you and this child have a very strong karmic connection and a strong sort of soul family connection. So this very, very specific, but this child, if that's the case, has a very open heart but doesn't feel that they completely belong either in the family or in the world or whatever. So there could be something here where you are actually helping them with that sort of energy, but also understanding and connecting to what you have in common. So it's very, very specific, but it's there potentially. If this is not about a child that you have, then the Fae want to talk to you about your heart and opening your heart. Maybe you felt very detached emotionally, and that this is your choice. You can do it. If you do it, you can manifest what you want. You don't have to be alone. It feels like you've chosen to be alone because you felt different. And you can come out and be seen in the world a bit more. All the potential is there, but you've been almost choosing this. And the Fae may well be saying it was fine for a while. There may have been a need to kind of focus on yourself. It could even be for some of you that you have gone through sort of being in a relationship, you've had children, they've now got empty nest, and now you can focus on yourself, and that's the right thing to do because there are new opportunities coming. But whatever this is, it's saying that it's okay for you to choose to focus on your heart and what makes you feel better at this point in time. It doesn't all have to be about other people. So let's ask what specific magic is rising in you to help you with that. Four of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, King of Pentacles reversed, Five of Swords. Okay. There is something about change and transition in your magic. And this is maybe also why we've got mother and daughter. We've got this sort of, and the solitary energy, the soul kin, and then the sort of galactic. There's something in you that is magical about the transitions in life, the rites of passage in life. And you're starting to sort of see that. It's like you are the ideal mentor guide, nurturer for others. Doesn't mean that you can't do it for yourself, but there is something very specific in you. You understand when there are emotional blocks. You understand when there's creative blocks. You understand when people stand in the way of their own manifestation, because to some degree you might have done it a bit to yourself, but the Fae here is showing you that you are ready to now not do that, to move forward and nurture yourself and others. But you also know when things should be let go of. So it's like there's a magic in you of transition. You're a bit like the ferryman, Charon, like going over the river Styx. You're a bit like the person who can, a psychopomp. Maybe you're a medium. That could be happening. If it's not kind of about life and death transitions, and it's about other transitions, a coach, a mentor or something. There's a very magical side of this because you're very connected to sort of bigger picture things, but you also understand it on the most intimate and caring level. But this is all about the magic of change, of revolution in some way. So what does the Fae think that you can achieve? Like, what can you manifest out of this? Five of Wands reversed, Seven of Cups reversed, Two of Cups reversed. Okay. You are, as I say, the ultimate transition person, the ultimate guide, the ultimate coach, the ultimate mentor. You have very strong mentoring energy coming from the Fae for you, but you have this innately in you. You can manifest peace. You can manifest practical reality, and you can work out where the right connections are and where there are blocks in the heart. So this is the blueprint of someone who's come, I think, in with a kind of almost intergalactic thing to bring peace, to bring clarity, and to bring harmony where it doesn't exist, and to help with the change. But the thing for you is that you need to also look after your own heart. That's all that they're saying. Look after your own heart, nurture yourself as well, and let them nurture you. But you are here for that. And that your magic is special. You are able to help people through change in a way that very few people can. This isn't just being a coach or a mentor. There are plenty of modalities that allow for that and all that kind of thing, but this is something more innate. This is something in your soul. And so I keep thinking, like, Charon, on the river Styx, or really any of the kind of spirit animals that are kind of like help you to sort of transition and change and so forth. There's something in you that this is what this is bringing about. So to go on this journey with the Fae, there's a number of sort of steps. So the first thing is to step through a portal. So what portal energy do you need to step through to truly come into this magical ability? These decks are a bit hard. They stick together. Oh, the multiverse. You are very interesting. You people are very interesting. You're certainly not from here. You're not from here. And I'd say this is kind of tilting to the fact that the Fae aren't from here either. But yeah, you can see all the dimensions. This is why you're so good. This is why I keep getting like, the psychopomp kind of concept, the concept of the guide. And it's interesting because pile 3 has the gatekeeper, but this is like you're the one who'd walk through with the person. You can see all the opportunities, all the options. And you've just got to go through that portal of allowing that in yourself. So then what path opens up for you when you open up to the multiverse, pile 2? Love. Oh, that's beautiful. Love for those that you're nurturing, love for yourself, the self-love, love for anybody going through change, anyone who needs to be guided. There's a purity in you. A purity. You see all the possibilities in it. Purity. You come very much from your heart. This is why the Fae were talking about the Ace of Cups. That's the thing. Like keep your heart center clear because you come from love. That's your pathway. So what is the sort of nature of your journey and the energy around your journey? Begin, just to begin. So I think it's saying it's time. If you've been thinking about doing something like this for a career, definitely begin. If you've been thinking about studying something that gives you some modalities to use your natural magic, begin. Absolutely. You just have to begin. You're ready. This is saying you're ready. You've been nurtured. You're ready. You're connected in the way that you need to. I think you also help others begin. Begin again. whatever that might be. Okay, so let's look at a couple of surprises that could come along on the path for you. A couple of things that you might not expect that comes from taking the wisdom of the Fae. Friendship. You need your friends. You're going to find people who some of the people that you help will become your friends, I think. And some of your friends also help nurture you when you're doing this, because this is a pretty big role. And it might be unlikely friends, people who aren't from your soul family, that are a surprise but a real blessing. The other surprise is weeding out. Get rid of things that are not wanted, make room for something new. So this is, you're going to actually see there's a process to this. And as I say, I think you've almost done it for yourself. You're going to start to understand that, and that's part of the process. And so you're going to kind of almost see a gardening metaphor with people, like weed out what isn't there, clear the way, clear the path, begin again. But there's, you're going to have friends and people who help you, people who are a part of this that you didn't expect, and bring things in that you didn't expect. Okay, let's get you some astrology energy as well too. Mutable, flexibility. Yeah, this is a multiverse, all the options. I think one of the things you're going to help people do is distill out of all the options the one where they should begin, and the one that is closest to their heart. Because, like there's that whole thing that, like we want freedom of choice, but sometimes we want freedom from choice. So I think you are going to help guide people with this. Square. You're going to challenge yourself and challenge others as well too. There's action. That's his begin again. You're not going to let people, if you're helping people with this, you're not going to let them just go, oh, well, at some point I'll do this. You're going to be really urging them on. And Aries, yeah. Ambitions, drive, the new, all of that kind of thing. Let's just see what planets are with the square. What are the, where's the sort of tension and the action really going to be required for you and for others that you're helping? Because I do think you're going to help people. Pluto in change, revolutionary change, transformation. That's again, Pluto and Chiron. Yeah, healing people, the transformative healing. And again, I just sort of feel like Pluto, the major gods, like there's something about you. There's something that's very archetypal about you and your magic. So to finish off, let's just sort of ask what practical magic is the Fae bringing you through following this path. And you're taking up what I think is your destined role. Sorry, I almost dropped a card then, so I always shuffle again when that happens. Time for play. Woodland Queen. Enjoy this, I think. You have all the skills that you need, and you have plenty of sort of like kind of natural and intergalactic companions. But it's saying have a bit of fun. It's interesting too with mother and child, because that might be the thing. Maybe sometimes you've got to kind of find the fun approach for people to help them go through the changes. And the rites of passage, like there's a rites of passage sort of energy that you bring to things, but you can make it fun and allow it to be fun because it's coming from the heart and there's so many possibilities. And you really do have the skill, and you are going to find friends. So I hope that resonates for you, Pile 2. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 3, to your reading. So you came to the reading with the very mysterious gatekeeper. So the gatekeeper is one of the Fae folk that is here. And this is very much suggesting that you're moving into a new world, a new stage, a new role, something like it's going from one type of life into another life, or stepping up, or whatever it might be. And I think it is connected to that. It's interesting because one of the other readings had a sense of rites of passage, but it was more that the person was going to help other people through rites of passage. I think this is your fairy folk here. They want to talk to you about a rite of passage for you where your gifts are taking you to a point of credibility and being seen, and it's part of your destiny. It's like, if you have the suspicions of destiny, if you've always felt you were meant to be a leader, for instance, or something like that, I think the Fae are definitely saying that's the case. You definitely have the gifts. And I think that there is something in opening this door for you, which is a gift. Like there are Fae folk there from the gatekeeper beckoning you in, because it's for you to start to understand something about yourself. You have the Weaver who wants to talk to you about your destiny. And you have the King of the Darkwood Elves that says authority, credibility, status, that this is time for you to step up. So it's like you walk through the portal, the gatekeeper draws you in, The gifts are showered on you to welcome you, and then it's like, let's get real. You know, there's some stuff you got to do, pile 3. This is important. And you have some very strong Fae energy to make sure that you understand the responsibility that goes with the gifts that you have and the opportunity that is being brought to you. So whether you've already started to feel that, you know, you've just been promoted or something like that, or whether, as I say, you have suspicions of destiny, the Fae folk are telling you that's right, and the time is coming. The time is coming to go through the door. So let's have a little bit more of an idea with tarot. So we're going to ask the Weaver here, the King of the Darkwood Elves, the Gatekeeper, the ones that bring the gift to you, that recognise your gifts in the sort of material world. What messages are they bringing you now? And then we're going to ask what magic you can discover as a result of this, and then what you can manifest. So what is the key message they want to bring to you? 8 of Swords, Knight of Swords reversed, 9 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Gifts, talents. They're definitely talking about that. This is a bit of a, they're quite stern, I have to say. The Weaver and the King here, they're not pulling any punches. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but they have high expectations of you. High expectations of you. They say that if you have felt frustrated in reaching your potential, then it's partly that you've been almost too conservative. You've caught yourself in being too conservative, too careful in whatever environment you're in. You're maybe sort of feeling like, I'm close, so I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. But this is saying there's almost like your gifts are meant to take you to another level. You're meant to actually cut through the disappointment. So for some of you, you may have come very close to achieving some form of leadership or something like that. Something that has responsibility and has status associated with it. And they're saying you're very close, you have all the gifts that you need, you have all of that, but you are limiting yourself at the moment. That's why they want you to come and talk to them, because you sort of feel close, but you feel like that whenever you get close, you're going to get disappointed. And it's interesting, the 5 of Cups in this deck has it as a Hydra. And one of the things about the Hydra is you chop off one of the heads and it grows back. So this is something about the way you view yourself that is limiting yourself. It's keeping you close but no cigar, as they say. But the skills are there. So they're having pretty serious discussion with you. They're like a recruitment panel for a leadership position, and they're going, yeah, you're the one and you have all the gifts. But, you know, the one thing we're worried about is, do you believe in yourself? So they're kind of pressing your buttons, basically, pile 3. So let's see what magic you can discover by being sort of assessed by these. They're not doing it they're not meaning to be harsh, but they are wanting you to face up to this because they think you're ready. So what magic can you sort of build through this interaction with the Fae? 2 of Cups, the World reversed, 4 of Swords, the Tower. Wow. Okay. You're a big change agent. Big change agent. And you can go back and not give up. I think you were close to giving up on something. But they're saying the magic of your change, once you have that aha moment, once you actually see that is what's within you and that you are calm enough within that, you're calm within a storm, in fact, saying that you are able to deal with change in the storm better than most. And if anything, you almost bring it in. Like magically, you almost bring in the dissolution of something to complete a cycle so that something better can come about. So it is like being a change agent, but it's a leadership role. You're calm in this. This is the point. Your magic is going to be what is also partly what has been holding you back is your own belief that, you know, like you can't quite make it or the environment isn't quite right, your own mental stuff. But when you turn that around, then you're the person who can almost trigger the change that completes what isn't working to bring in what will. So it's almost like you somehow summon up the change. You summon up the power of the Tower. But you're very calm when you do it. Once you have that aha moment, like the block was more your own belief. And once you break through that, you have the big breakthrough that closes out the old cycle, brings in something better. So this is about the magic of self-belief and understanding how much you can impact your environment. So what can you manifest if you fully understand this? King of Pentacles reversed, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. Okay. So one of the reasons why you have suspicion of destiny and you're right, and one of the reasons why you're meant to be a leader, and one of the reasons why the Fae are talking to you about this is that you are in some situation, whether this is sort of like a family situation, a work situation, love situation, whatever it is, that cannot hold, that is past its time. It needs a new leadership. It needs a new vision. So you can manifest the dissolution of that which is no longer working. You can break through this. It doesn't have to hold you in place. It doesn't have to hold you down. And you can rebuild something. You have the foundation that's necessary because you're very realistic about this. It's almost as though they're saying that the thing that was holding you back in this situation, I'll just give you an example. Say it was a business and it needed to shift. You know, like the client base was shifting, technology was shifting or whatever, but everybody was kind of in denial about it. There was kind of groupthink going on. And you could see because you kind of have a bit more clarity what was going on, but equally you felt in the environment you couldn't really take that forward, so you felt a bit trapped. This is saying there's something in your magic to really take that forward, and then you can build something that's going to work longer. So it's just an example. Could play out in any number of ways, but your magic is about seeing the change that is necessary and being the leader that brings it in, because of a kind of a balance of sort of like pragmatism and a sense of what is sustainable as opposed to what isn't sustainable, and because of the gifts that you have. You are very gifted in this way. So when you're doing what the Fae are talking about here and stepping up, you know, like what is the portal that you have to go through? I mean, you're going through a door there. So a little bit more about what this portal is that would take you towards your destiny, because you are destined to do something like this, pile 3. Trust. Yeah, trust in yourself. Trust in what the Fae are saying. Trust in their judgment of you. You may think that, you know, they've got the wrong person and you're not ready for it, but you are. You are able to do this, and the trust and the right connections will help. So what is the pathway that you are then on? Oh, this is interesting. This came up for another. Love. So for some of you, this might be about a relationship. It might be one that needs to shift or change to bring in the one that is right. Might be moving from one to the other, potentially. But I mean, for most of you, this feels much bigger than that. It feels like leadership. So I feel like this is sort of saying that there's almost a servant leadership sort of aspect. You're coming from the heart, and that's the thing that will keep you on the right pathway. Caring about the outcome, caring about the people, caring about building something new, not just breaking everything down, but being the leader that brings something new in. So what's the nature of the journey? Possibilities. So that's the focus to look at. So if you're in this sort of like, as I say, almost recruitment panel with the Fae, and they're talking to you about you know what your vision is, then it's sort of like the way that you get to this is to open up all the possibilities and kind of examine them on a very pragmatic level. But it's like, don't focus on what is falling apart, focus on what can be built. What are the possibilities? And there's something in this change that in itself opens up possibilities. So what will surprise you? I'm going to pull a couple of cards for what will surprise you when you sort of take on this magic and you take on this role and this advice from the Fae. Questions. Ask a lot of questions, find more information. You may find, see, I get a real sense that there's a dialogue going on here with the Fae, with you. That they are going to be far more open to you asking questions. And in fact, the environment's going to be far more open to you asking questions than you expect. Because I feel like the environment, for many of you say, I feel like it's a bit in groupthink, but you're going to be surprised to find that when you start to move through this, that you can ask the questions and you know the right questions to ask. What else will surprise you? Stand up for yourself, stand up to bullies. If you are getting pushed back, you're stronger than you think, because you're meant to be a leader. So some of you, this may be in an environment where there are bullies, or you know, you're not in a position of power right now, but I think you will eventually be in one. That's your destiny. You'll be surprised how much you can stand up for yourself and how much your questions will be sort of responded to, or will be part of the momentum for the change that you are going to bring in for your kind of leadership, your kind of destiny here. Okay, let's get you some astrology support as well. Conjunction. Yeah, I feel like there's at least one person who's going to be a really good support, quite apart from the Fae energy. I think that there's something about this, that card sort of looked like it, like you're going to have a companion. So we'll have a look at the planets around that, but there's something about connecting with others. The 5th house, yeah, and for some of you it's romantic. This is interesting. It feels very much like stepping up into your business or vocation or spiritual power, but I think it may bring in love as well. That might be a bit of a wild card that you don't expect as well, if you aren't already thinking, oh, this is more around a love match that I have. And water, the possibilities, the emotional stuff. What does your heart tell you rather than just your head? What is your heart telling you? So let's just see what the planets are for the conjunction. Mercury, how you communicate with others. And Saturn, yeah, the new and the old, how you balance, how you bring in. You're going to find some companions and some people who have a similar vision for what is new to shift past that which has now had its time. And you'll find powerful allies too. Older allies, you know, people sort of, you know, further up the ladder potentially, something like that. There's something about the powers of the world and allies and the communication that's going to help you. You're sort of recognised as being part of the leadership group. Okay, so to finish off, I just want to get a practical magic card for you for a little bit more about the magic that you bring from this connection with the Fae. Set boundaries. Lady of Avalon. Wow. There you go. Leadership again. And choice of leadership. Think about Lady of Avalon gave the sword to Arthur. Like there's something about you that like it's a leadership thing and it's a destined leadership thing. And you've been chosen. You've been chosen. It's now, and the Fae are telling you that. It's now, you know, how you manifest that, how you see it and how you go with it. But setting boundaries is going to be important because there's something about the way that thinking is in the environment you're in that's blocked you before. So putting some boundaries around so you move forward is really important. But this is an absolute confirmation. This group are meant to lead in some way. It will be different things to different people, but there is a destined leadership. So, and the Fae are seeing it and they want you to start to realise what you can bring in and the possibilities of it. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.